Alright everyone, Daniel here with urgent breaking news. I woke up at like 2 a.m. this morning to see that DDR is officially back. We thought it was over, but as it turns out, we're so back. Today marks the start of the first real major unlock event in DDR since Rinon's adventure. We got a teaser for Baby LON's Galaxy back in September on the official DDR Twitter account, and today it finally kicked off. Now, I know what we're all thinking. Where's Gus when we need him so we can make sense of all of this? Well, he's not here, so I'm gonna have to take over for today and explain everything that's been discovered so far. So the footage I'm going to be using is from Amuse Town, which is an arcade in Korea that just happens to have their DDR cabinet on some sort of 24-hour live stream, which I had never heard of before. So it's an amazing concept. So if you want to get the chance to watch stuff like this happen live, or go back and see the progress already made for this event, you definitely should check that channel out. I'll be leaving a link to today's session by Korean DDR player Echospherics in the description. It's one of the most amazing grinds I've seen for this game. The amount of perseverance from him is next level. So as we can see on first login, we get a little cutscene. Baby LON is out on his usual spacewalk since he is an astronaut, as we all know, when suddenly all of the planets are frozen over. Baby LON's rattle senses the danger and awakens, transforming into a magic wand. And with this, Baby LON sets off on a new adventure to save the galaxy. Look, I'm just going off of context clues here. Whatever, the story's not important. So, how Baby LON's Galaxy works is when you clear songs, you fill up the new RP gauge. It takes 9 songs normally, or if you want to expedite the grind, there's a new Galaxy Start mode where for 3 times the money, the gauge fills 3 times as quickly. You know, really great game design sign when you offer players to pay in order to not have to play the game, but I digress. Once that gauge is full, you move on to the brand new Galaxy stage, where you're met with the first frozen planet. To rescue the planet, you'll have to clear the song, obviously, but it isn't going to be that easy. During the Galaxy stage, your life bar is replaced with the brand new Flare gauge, a special type of life bar that doesn't recover and drains for any judgment below perfect. It has multiple levels as well, starting at Flare 5. If you pass the song, you unlock that difficulty for regular play. However, if you fail, next time you attempt that song, the Flare gauge will be lowered to Flare 4, and lower with each level being slightly more lenient than the last. Now let's talk about the songs, because they pulled out all the stops to deliver a veritable pantheon of brand new boss songs. Only one is available when you first make it to the Galaxy stage. Blue Fog Silver Bullet by LED is a hard-hitting liquid drum and bass track, while being a little by the numbers and, the lack of any crazy melodies or modern progression, giving it a sort of old school vibe. The production is great and super fun to listen to. This chart is a 15 with quite a few stutter gimmicks. I mean, these are all boss songs, so you have to go in expecting them to throw plenty of gimmicks in your path. It's still about as straightforward as you can get, and I would expect most seasoned players that are on the grind for these tracks to pass this one on their first try. Once the first planet is rescued, 2 more become unlocked, and this stage is where we start to see the real curveballs get thrown in. First up is Electronic Sports Complex by Amen Kensetsu, which has to be the most left field artist choice that I can think of in recent memory. I mean, if you didn't believe me when I said they're pulling out all the stops, Bimani's whipping out the break core like it's the fine china for a fancy dinner party. That means this is serious. For this track, we're treated as some of the filthiest breakcore that sounds like it was dredged up from the deepest, darkest of Dojin circles, which is a niche DDR is sorely in need of filling compared to games like 2DX or Sound Voltex. The chart is a comfortable 17 with a wide variety of rhythms to keep you on your toes. The patterns in this chart are relatively simple, which allows for the foot speed at 220 BPM to do the talking in terms of difficulty. Alongside that song is Memory Data Mosher by System Valkyrie. According to their Twitter, this is apparently some sort of rogue AI programmed to write rhythm game music. I don't know. We're cranking the tempo even higher now to 460, continuing the march towards the 480-500 range for DDR's new standard boss song speed that's been trending in recent years. It's only a 16, and I'm saying only because there are plenty of rhythms in the song that go unutilized in the chart, so we may have to stay tuned for a challenge chart in some future update. Besides that, this song still contains quite a few quick bursts and some rather nasty syncopated rhythms, which at this speed are bound to catch plenty of players off guard. So overall, these two songs are most likely going to take a couple of tries, to lower the flare gauge to a comfortable level in order to get the clear. Upon unfreezing both of those, we get the third wave of planets. We get to see an artist that I'm sure most of us are familiar with that's been conspicuously absent from DDR until now with Come to MIDI. This is that iconic Tokyo style speedcore sound, so there isn't much to talk about if you've already heard the other MIDI tracks from Beatmania. Very monotonous and oppressive driving kick drums with plenty of screeching synths to crank up the energy to a dangerously heart-pounding degree. Similar to Memory Data Mosher, this chart is a stamina-draining 16 with quick bursts of arrows, but this time there are plenty of these mind game stops and very fast gradual slowdowns that may require some memorization. After that, we have Sisyphus by Bimani Sound Team Paon. Sisyphus being a sick, mocking reference to everyone grinding this event right now. Just from what I'm listening to, this song has enough silly noises in it that most of us will assume this is Zakuva, but that may be wrong. But then again, it's probably right. This track mixes hardstyle kicks with a bit of old world, classical instruments to give it a rather unique blend of sounds. But most of the time it sounds like silly Zakuva noises. On two different occasions, the music comes to a complete stop, leading into a pretty sinister sounding build-up section that slowly dials the tempo back up to where it started, which is brutal with the flare gauge, where precision and perfect attacking is more important than ever. Not only that, Sisyphus has the most punishing chart of all the songs we've seen so far, involving lots of painful looking step jumps, 16th notes into step jumps, as well as multiple jump streams in a row. Maybe some of these are brackets, who knows. Well, either way, your ankles will not forgive you for this one. 2 more planets down, and 1 more to go. For the 4th wave, we get New Millennium. That's right, it's a new song for the new series of new songs. We will run out of units of time measurement one of these days. Finally, we have our traditional DDR boss song, taking what we saw with New Era and all the other old songs, the old new songs, and perhaps throwing in some Max 300 and Splash Gold into the mix. It has a great progression, changing up the beat multiple times from start to finish to keep things super exciting. The fact that this is a new song means, of course, you can expect way too many gimmicks. Much like the very first song of this event, this one's way less wacky than the other song choices, and it's more similar to what you would typically find in DDR. And that's it. See you next time on the dance floor. No, of course not. People weren't satisfied with that. Deep down, we all knew there must be something else. But where? They tried everything. Putting dollar after dollar in the machine, coincidentally enough, on that Sisyphus grind in search of the next step in the event. Well, as it turns out, upon unlocking the basic, difficult, and expert charts of all 6 songs, you get this. That's right, another cutscene plays of all the planets' essence coming together, forming a baby bird, which tells baby LON about the existence of a mysterious phoenix. Next time you access the galaxy stage, the music is much more evil, and a strange purple signal begins to be sent from 3 of the planets. This opens up challenge charts for Come to MIDI, Sisyphus, and New Millennium. Not only are they even crazier than before, this time the flare gauge starts at level 9, meaning the life bar is even more punishing than before. New Millennium is by far the standout among the 3. While all the previous charts really didn't have much of a crossover focus, surprisingly, this chart has them everywhere, plus every other possible evil pattern you could imagine. Crossovers, step jumps, step jumps while crossed over, jacks, even foot switches, all while still having to contend with, stops and slowdowns every other measure. Anyway, clearing one of the challenge charts lights up the corresponding colored light on the baby LON magic rattle meter, I don't know what to call it, and once you fill all 3 at long last, you get access to the Encore Extra Stage, which is a level 19 song by Camellia, and it's called Ho. And then this will most likely happen. That's right, we've got a flare gauge EX. The notes are just fading in. Whatever's going on here is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen in terms of gimmicks. Although, surprisingly, level 19 by Camellia, I believe, was on the bingo card for Ace 3. Besides this footage, I'm also aware that Japanese doubles player Niroku has made it there, and we also have footage of Oshima's first attempt here. And of course, huge shout out to Echospherics again, who I'm sure is taking a well-deserved rest. We'll obviously see more of Ho in the near future, so I'm excited for that. And that's all I have right now. We're just gonna see how this plays out. I'll see you guys later.